Hi, everybody. Y'all know I love to be silly and just make people laugh because that's me, but I wanted to do something different today. I'm going to do a story time, and it's not the best story in the whole world. But it's mine. And I wanted to start this movement as well, kind of like an online movement, because I know some people are still very much afraid to go out to protest and stuff because of coronavirus, which is true. I'm a little apprehensive as well. Number one, because I was sick, and then number two, because I like to go see my grandpa, and I know that if I go out and protest, then I'm going to have to wait an extended period of time to be able to help out, stuff like that. But can we start an online movement of your story? We can hashtag it not a bad apple, a bad system, because this is really to discuss the fact that it's not just one person, or it's not just like these isolated incidents that I think that a lot of white people are kind of leaning on. Like, oh yeah, it's just they're killing everybody. No, it's so much more than that. It's the fact that this is systemic, and this is a way of protesting online. So all of my friends of color who have had a negative run-in with the police, I just want you to talk about it so that they can kind of see that when we talk about this as a community, that it's literally a community, because it's all of us, and it's something that we just live with and we just shut up about. A couple of years ago, I was teaching, and I had left my school, and I was on my way to go and clean our church because that was my job. Part of the cleaning ministry is what I do when I would find the weird times, because my pastor knows it's always some random time. But I loved it because it was my time to kind of commune with God in such a silly way of me cleaning the church, but it made me feel better. And I knew that God was there when I did it. So I was on my way to do that, and I stopped by the police. And for those of you that don't know, I have anxiety and panic disorder. So when I get I call it negative excitement, where something's going on, I start to shake and I can't breathe, and I really go into this, it's almost like, it feels like a panic. And this was right after, I think this is right after the Black Lives Matter movement, really like at the beginning, when it really took place a couple years ago. So I was still already nervous because not that I do anything wrong or like running around, I don't know, karate chopping kids in the face or something, but white cops make me nervous. And I got pulled over by a white cop who was not having a good day. And of course, because they make me nervous, I started to have trouble breathing, and I started to hyperventilate a little bit. And he looked agitated at me, and he's like, "What's wrong with you? What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm on my way to clean my church." And like, I pointed in the direction because I was almost there. It was like the stoplight beforehand. I was almost there. And so I like turned down the music and everything, and I'm like trying to keep myself calm, but it's not working. And so all I could think was that I want to make it home. And I was just terrified. And he was like that, I remember what he said, "Why are you crying?" And I was like, "I'm sorry, but I have anxiety." I was like, "And this is just a very unnerving situation for me." And he was like, "Well, you need to stop. It's making me nervous." In that moment, I got so much worse, because I'm like, I am a teacher. Like, I think that in my mind, I'm like, I'm at my most what's the word I want to, like, the most unviolent person that you could think of. Think of like a teddy bear, like walking down the street, like holding a dog. Like, that's where I was. I'm a teacher I'm a teacher going to a church to clean. Like, I am so not the picture of somebody that did something bad. And so I tried my best. It was kind of like, when you were little, those of you that kind of grew up in my generation and generations past, when you got beat by your parents because you did something wrong, and they would tell you to stop crying or else I'll give you something to cry about. And you know how you would do that kind of like panic, breathe in, breathe out? That's what I was doing. Like, I'm like, oh, if I don't get my life together, I might not have a life to get together. And I make jokes like while I'm telling this story because it's so sad that if I allow the anger of it to take over, then I can understand, and I'm in that same looting mindset of I just want to destroy everything because I have nowhere else to put my anger, because I'm not trying to destroy people, but I need to mess some stuff up. I need to let it all out. So to keep that's why there's this kind of like silly air to my story. But no, he ended up telling me that there was somebody stole a car from a white woman and that my car looked like the car even though it was some other kind of car. I want to say it was like a Camry or something. But honestly, everything else he said to me kind of went numb because he said I made him nervous. So when he asked me to do things and stuff, I literally told him what I was doing while I was doing them. Sir, I am taking my hand off of the wheel and I am going to reach for my license. I have my license in my purse, I have my license in my wallet, which is in my purse. My purse is large, so it will take both hands. I am taking my other hand off the wheel. And I'm literally narrating what I'm doing. And as I'm narrating, oh, don't get me wrong, snot bubbles, tears, everything. That didn't change. Neither did his attitude with me the whole time. So that interaction, and when I think about everything that's going on, I go back to that interaction. Do I have more interactions than that one with the police that have made me very scared? Absolutely. Do I have good interactions with the police? Absolutely. But the thing is, my bad interactions outweigh my good interactions. And when people sit there and are like, oh yeah, it's because the reason why they have this is because people are doing these black people are doing bad things. I was a teacher on my way to go clean a church. I don't know how much better you can be than that. And to be a woman who's, number one, just has like this weird fear of men that I don't know because rape culture and things like that I've been through before. But for it to be a white man in a place of authority that really, really, really brought me to a place that I had never been. Now, I'm not saying this because I'm against police. I'm against the way they've treated us. And I'm against the fact that, let me say this to all of my white friends. Listen to what I'm saying right now. I'm not saying that you have to run out and protest. I'm not saying that you have to hold up signs and be like, yo, I support. I don't need you to yell. I don't need you to do anything else. What I need you to do, what the color community needs you to do, is that when you see something wrong, when you see something that is clearly racist, I don't need you to walk away then. I don't need you to be like, oh, well, it's not me, so it doesn't matter. I need you to call it out. Call it what it is. Call it by its name. That's what I need you to do. So if you don't want to post up signs and stuff, you don't have to. You don't. But when you see a white woman calling the cop on a kid who's passing out waters during the protest, or when you see a white cop push a black man down while he's protesting, you need to call it out. When you're in a grocery store and you see that there's a woman, a white woman, following around a black kid trying to make sure that he doesn't steal anything, you need to call it out. That's what I need you to do. That's what we all need you to do. Because silence is just as bad. So if you don't know what else to do, and you're afraid to ask your black friends, oh, what do you think I should do? Just watch this. Watch a YouTube video. There are plenty of people that will tell you exactly what to do. And this doesn't mean you need to give money to NAACP. Don't get me wrong. It'd be great if you did. But this just means that you need to call out racism when you see it. Or even when you're around other white people and they're saying racist stuff that you know is not right. Yeah, that's when you call it out. That's when you say stuff. Because if not, then you're a part of the problem. Just like those people that didn't vote last election are part of the reason why we have the president that we do. Same thing. Same exact thing. Saying nothing, doing nothing is just as bad as doing the wrong thing. I love you guys, and I hope that my fellow people, my fellow black people, my fellow community of people who have had injustice done to them by the police are able to do the same thing. Love you guys.